So Shevchenko manages to get another high-level win and title defense on her ledger. I was very impressed with this performance. It might not have been the most impressive performance in terms of what she actually did in terms of it being emphatic, but she manages to TKO Lauren Murphy for a 6th flyweight title defense. So yeah, the knockout came at the end of the round 4. It was a complete domination. Shevchenko was like a cobra in there, like literally. She'll come forward, she'll keep her hands going up and down, and then as soon as Lauren Murphy threw a shot and missed, Shevchenko will come back and counter with brutality, and it was quite impressive to see it happen like that. Is right up there as one of the. It was a very impressive performance, and I think the writing was written on the wall. Shevchenko managed to throw these leg kicks that just came out of left field. Her striking ability is impressive. Like the way she throws her kicks are just up there. Like I've never seen a fighter throw punches with such murderous intent, and it comes at lightning speed, so you can't even see the punches coming to some extent. So from that perspective, I think it's fair to say that Lauren Murphy just didn't have a chance, hope in hell in there. She's a very tough girl, and she went in there with one of the best fighters the female MMA has ever seen. So fair play to her, but I think you can tell the levels were just levels apart in terms of just her countering ability, the way she fights. I mean, just if you take into account everything, like they were just levels apart. Her countering ability. And I just think there's only one fight left for Shevchenko at this point. The one fight left for her is obviously a fight with Amanda Nunes. Now, a lot of people I've seen have said they don't see the point of this fight because they're just like, you know what, like Amanda Nunes has beaten her twice already, so like what's the point? To be fair though, the second fight a lot of people thought Shevchenko won, and I think they should have just a third fight just to see who's the greatest woman MMA fighter of all time. I think it is definitely between them two. I've noticed with women's MMA, there's one or two fighters that are really dominant while the rest of them are just not quite on that level. There was a time where it was more evenly spread out, but at this point in time, it's Amanda Nunes of Shevchenko who are at the top of the table, while everyone else are just not quite there. There was a time though when it was more competitive. You had the Amanda Nuneses. Obviously, you had Amanda Nunes. You have Shevchenko. You had Holly Holm. You had Ronda Rousey. You had Cyborg. You had several other fighters that were high level, and then the rest of them, like it was a little bit of a round robin situation where you had obviously Ronda Rousey beat Miesha Tate, but then Miesha Tate beat Holly Holm, and then the title was changing hands. But at this point in time, it's clear who's the best fighters in the world. It's in terms of women's MMA, it's Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko. So both of them should just fight each other. Obviously, when Valentina just went in for the finish and just ground and pounded her, it was just brutal to watch. I'm glad the referee came in and just stopped the fight, because on the feet she completely dominated her with her counter striking ability, and then on the ground she just pounded her like she was a piece of dead meat. So yeah, from that perspective, I think Valentina is just going to continue to dominate going forward, and the only person that could give her a fight is obviously Amanda Nunes. So I think both of them should just fight each other. So yeah, it is what it is. It was the writing was on the wall just from the beginning. If you just watch the first round, I mean, you could just tell who was the dominant fighter in there. It's just it was almost inevitable. It's written on the wall what's going to happen. Shevchenko is one of them fighters where she's either really violent and she completely destroys her opponent, or the fights can turn into a bit of a snooze fest where she's so dominant where literally she just waits for opponents to throw a punch and then she comes back with a counter, and the fight can get boring to some extent when it's like that. Obviously she's a technician and she's a counter striker, and she's not a fighter that usually, she's not like an Amanda Nunes, just to some extent goes forward and keeps attacking. But Shevchenko is more of a tactician than that. So yeah, from that perspective, I think them two should just fight each other and just get it over and done with. So yeah, from that perspective, I think it is what it is. I mean, Lauren Murphy probably didn't have no business being in the octagon with her. And I think Shevchenko is just on a whole nother level. She's probably one of the greatest MMA fighters I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about just gender. I'm just saying, regardless of gender, she's definitely up there. I think Shevchenko probably has the ability to beat some men in her weight class. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous. I'm not saying she'll be top 5. I think she'll be probably top 5. She'll beat a few of the men in the top 10, but then in terms of the top 5, I don't think she beats the top person there. But I think she would give a few of them good fights, I think. But that's just my opinion. Tell me your opinion below, and like and subscribe to the channel. Who do you think Shevchenko should fight next? Tell me what you think should happen next. Like and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.